the last one was The Killers. It's on the Hot Fuss album. It's what's the name of it called? All these things I've done. All these things I've done, I guess. I love The Killers. They're great. So, okay, I'm guessing by the number of responses we need to talk about this a little bit, okay? And that's why we're here. And so when you take the test, this is what I want you guys to have right here, okay? I don't want you to think you have to memorize the formulas to be successful at math, all right? But what I do want you guys to realize is that if you're going to be successful at math, you have to understand what it is you're reading and you have to know how to plug stuff in. Okay. There's a saying, have you guys ever heard this before? We call it plug and chug. And you plug in the numbers and then you chug through the algebra, or the arithmetic, certainly, at least. So this, especially like the line partitioning formula, my God, it is plug and chug, plug, 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 chug, 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 get down to one number. And so, sometimes when I work with these big long formulas, I'm thinking to myself, just plug and chug, don't get frustrated. There's a really great saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is simple. It's one bite at a time. You can't think about eating the whole thing and be successful. You just have to do one bite at a time. So that's what this is. It's plug and chug. You guys can tell me if you like the saying plug and chug or not, okay? Trying to make this a little bit of life lesson for you. All right, so it says find the midpoint. Oh, no, let's do the distance formula. So the distance formula would be the difference in x, which would be 7 minus 3, and I apologize for this bad scribble scrabble, plus, and the y values would be 8 minus 2, and square that, okay? So hopefully you guys can plug in those numbers. And then after that, you're just thinking about the difference between 7 and 4. So 7 and 3, sorry. So 7 and 3 is 4 squared. And 8 minus 2 is 6 squared. Okay, so remember, somebody asked the question, the order, just do the subtraction first, and then you square them. So we're going to square 4 times 4 is 16. Don't put 8. Every year I have students that say 4 squared is 8. And it's a common mistake. Don't beat yourself up if you make the mistake, but 4 squared is not 8. 6 squared is 36. And let's see, 16 plus 36 is, I should know this, 52. And then, okay, so square root 52. So if you put square root 52, you are correct, but you're not technically correct, okay? So this would split into 4 times, I believe it was 13. It was a 12, let's see, 52 divided by 4 is 13. It is 13. Okay, so this would be 2 root 13 right there. Okay, now you can't do the radical in Google Forms without equatio, and we didn't buy equatio. I did see on somebody's where they had it. So I said use the square root. So I would write it as 2 sqrt parentheses 1 3 parentheses. And if you ever go into coding for computers, that's the way you put it in when you code for computers. It's pretty awesome. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Any comments or feedback? We feeling okay about distance formula? Feel free to light up the chat with your comments, even if you want to just say, oh, I just want to doodle. Okay, what's the midpoint between these? Okay, well, the midpoint, you guys remember that little thing we got? Midpoint, what do we do? Add them together, divide by 2. So add the x's together, 3 plus 7 divided by 2, and 2 plus 8 divided by 2. And that turns into 10 divided by 2. And yeah, oh, I forgot that worked out that way. 10 divided by 2 for the y, so that's 5 comma 5. Okay. So 5, 5. So 5, 5 is right there. That's the midpoint. Okay. All right. Everybody good on midpoint? We feeling good? Can you guys, I feel like I'm lost right here. I'm at the bottom of my screen where I'm looking at people and I only see names. I don't see any faces right now. Can you guys give me a yes or no or hello or yeah, we're good in the chat? I do see, okay, now I'm back at the top. I see Landon, Mackenzie, and Sadie. So I'm going to judge their eyes whether or not they are looking confused. All right. And if you want to turn on your camera, I'd love it. Oh, there's Amy. Okay, Amy's looking like she's focused. Okay. All right. So line partition. It says 2 to 1. We're going to partition this into 2 to 1. And we're going to plug in. Start at 3. Now, listen to my wording on this because I want you to understand why this formula makes sense, okay? I'm going to start at 3, so it matters where I start. And then I'm going to go. I'm using go for plus. I'm going to go, it was 2 to 1. So it's 2/3 of the way of the distance. And the distance is always subtract, right? And so it's 3, start at 3 plus go 2/3 of the distance to of 4. So 2/3 of the distance to 4. All right. And then let's see. This would be 3 plus, I think I have that right where it's 2 to 1. Yeah, 2 to 1. So it's 2/3. Okay. It'd be 8/3. So this one would be, that's like saying, let's see, this is 9, so it'd be 15/3. No, it wouldn't be 15. What's 9 plus 8, guys? 17? My bad. Now you can write that as a decimal too, or you can write that as an improper fraction. I'd probably leave it, I'm sorry, as a mixed fraction. I would probably leave it as a improper fraction. I'd probably leave it just like that, okay? So the y value really quick, start at 2 and then go 2/3 of the way. And the distance is 8 minus 2 is 6. And this one will line up nicer because, 3 goes into 6. So this is 2 plus 4, which is 6. So at, 17/3, comma 6, right there. That's partitioning it 2/3 of the way. Okay. All right. How are you guys feeling? A 5 for I'm good on this test, or a 1 for I'm going to fail this test and it'll be okay because I'll do test corrections. Which I probably still haven't done the test corrections for the last test yet. It's all right. We got fall break coming up. I can get caught up in grading over fall break. Savannah says 4. Anybody else want to put in a number? Anybody want to dare put in 1? I won't be offended. Savannah, okay, 3's not bad. 3's not bad. You guys have only seen this for like a week, so all right, that's the warm-up. Let's close this out here. And I would really encourage you guys before you take the test to go back and see if you can score a high grade on the warm-up. See if you guys can get it. Okay. And then let's talk about yesterday's warm-up, okay? And yesterday's warm-up looked like this. It looked like, come on, hold on. My computer, come on. I can do this. Can I do this? Sorry, I'm trying to, I can, oh, nope, I can't. Okay, I cannot do that. All right, let's bring it over here. All right. Okay, so this was yesterday's warm-up. And if you didn't get a chance to do yesterday's warm up, then definitely go back and try to do it. But I want to talk about this right here. So it says in this, first of all, you guys can see the screen, right? Measure of angle 1 is 2x minus 5. And measure of angle 2 is 2x plus 15. So what are we going to do with that? It says 4 and 8 are congruent. So 4 is congruent to 8. If 4 is congruent to 8, does anybody remember the name of the triangle that has two congruent angles? Does anybody remember the name of that triangle? What's the name of the triangle where it has two congruent angles? And it's, I'll give you a hint. It's either scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. Who remembers it? What do you guys think? Is it scalene? Is it isosceles? Or is it equilateral? Okay, so if you have two angles that are the same, that's a isosceles triangle. Okay, so it just means that this is congruent to that. Okay, so two congruent angles, and the triangle that it would be an isosceles triangle. But what are we gonna do? Okay, so 1 and 2, they're adjacent, and it happens to be that since this big angle right here is 90 degrees, that because this forms a straight line, that 1 and 2 are, what are they? Complementary. Okay, so we're going to say 1 and 2 are complementary, and therefore, if you add these two together, then it's 90 degrees. So it'd be 4x, which is 2x plus 2x, and then -5 plus 15 is 10. So 4x plus 10 is complementary, and that it gives me a compliment, and it says, Mr. Brooks, you have a nice shirt on today. And I say, thank you. I'll go ahead and solve for your x. Okay, so that's going to give me x, and then I plug in. Okay, I plug in 1 and 2. Now, what do you know? Well, I know that angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical angles. Look at that, because these are two straight lines. So 1 and 4. So once you plug in for 1, then you know angle 4. And then once you know angle 4, you know angle 8, because 4 and 8 are congruent. It gives it to you right there. It tells you 4 and 8 are congruent. Okay, now you know angle 3. Angle 3 is also 90 degrees, right? And then you know that 4 and 5 have to be complementary. Okay, also 2 and 5 are congruent, because 2 and 5 are vertical angles. And so actually when you plug x into number 2, you get number 5 also. Okay, so then you have to know, in order to get, what do you have to find? 9 and 10. So in order to get number 10, you have to get number 7. So how many degrees are in a triangle? Because that's what you're going to use to find number 7. And then from there, 7 and 10 are supplementary. So 7 plus 10 is 180. This is angles. Angle 7, angle 10 is 180. Everybody type in, how many degrees are in a triangle? So like if you add up 4, 8, and 7, if you add up 4, 8, and 7, what would that equal to? Somebody's got to remember from 8th grade, right? How many degrees are in a triangle? Anybody? Anybody want to guess? 180. That's right. There are 180 degrees in a triangle. So, oh, look, I even typed it out where angle 4 plus angle 7 plus angle 10 is 180. But 4 and 8 are doubled. Oh, wait. No. That's complementary. I'm sorry, that's supplementary. And then angle 4 plus angle 8 plus angle 10, that's also equal to 180. Okay, so there's a lot of logic here, right? There's a lot of vocab where you say, since I know that measure angle 1 and measure angle 4 are congruent because they're vertical, then I can write an equation. Because I know that measure angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary, I can write an equation equal to 90 degrees. Because I know that measure angle 4 and measure angle 8 are congruent, I can set them equal to each other. Okay, there's a lot of logic here and it really trains your brain. Okay, now I'm going to go off on a little tangent for about 5 minutes. Okay, now when you guys do this class, you can pass this class just showing up. Okay, you will pass. All right, now, and you can get a lot of the answers off of the answer keys that I post, and or you can just submit this, and really when you submit it, you can see your answers, right? When you submit the warm-ups, you can go back in and you can see your answers because I set the warm-ups where you can see the correct answers. Okay.
Did you sort of let us cheat?
I have very little power to stop people from cheating. Very little power. Now, when I catch you cheating, we're gonna have a serious conversation. But you know, if you don't challenge yourself, if you are not challenged, you will not grow. And you can write that down. If you are not challenged, you will not grow. That's true for geometry. That's true for your job. That's true for your relationship. That's true for anything. Okay. So you have to challenge yourself if you want to grow. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to turn 18 and be the same person you were at 16. Okay. So when you guys do this homework, challenge yourself. Don't stress yourself out where you're having a mental anxiety breakdown. Okay. But challenge yourself. Okay. All right. You can give me an amen if you believe that. What if you do not challenge yourself, you will not grow. That's absolutely true. Okay. Here's from the formula review. I just got the formula review graded and I was going to get some of your stuff graded, more of your stuff graded, and I got busy grading algebra 2. So you'll have more of your grades in today, I promise. Hopefully, I was off yesterday. Look at number 9. This is distance formula. It gave 2 numbers and it said, what's the distance between these 2 numbers? And 14 people said 10, and then 2 people said 100. Can you guys guess? Can you guys guess what they didn't do correctly? What their misconception was? Why did they get 100 instead of 10 for the answer? Okay. And now I'm a math teacher, so I've done this for a little bit. So I know what they did. But can you guys figure it out? Yeah. They didn't square it. It's just the last step. They did everything else right. They took the distance right. They squared correctly. They added correctly. And then the last thing they forgot to do was take the square root. Okay, and the same 2 people probably did it over here with this one. 289 squared is 17. Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I said that. I said that wrong. Did anybody catch that, Mr. Brooks? The square root of 289 is 17. Okay, so so there's just a little feedback there. Now, it did say that a whole bunch of people got number 15 wrong, and so I wanted to do number 15 for you guys. Just real quick, if you guys allow me to do it. It says, what's the distance between these 2 points? So let's see. So we got the square root of x. The distance is 11 minus 6 is 5. And then negative 12 and 2, the distance is 14. Okay, hopefully you guys see that. 11 minus 6 is 5, and negative 12 minus 2 is negative 14. Now, it is negative 14 squared, but again, does the negative matter? Well, if you square it, you're always going to get a positive answer, right? Okay, so that means that we're at 25 plus some number. What's 14 squared? Mr. Brooks doesn't know. 196. And then add that to 25, and that's 221. 221. And then the square root of 221, I believe, is going to be 11. Oh, no, it's 14.86. So it's about 14.86. Sorry, that was really, really, really ugly. Let's see. Undo 8. And you know what? It says round to the hundredth, so I'm going to round to 14.87. Okay. All right. So in this case, it doesn't say simplify, it just says round. Now, here's another tangent. Do you guys know what these squiggly lines mean? Like when I say this, it's not equal to. Do you guys remember what this means? The squiggly lines. Looks like somebody tried to write a equal sign when they were drunk. This means about, it's approximate, because the square root of 221 is an irrational number. That means that this decimal goes on forever and ever and ever. And so while it is 14.87, it's more accurate to say it's about 14.87. Okay. Now, for all intensive purposes for 10th grade math, 14.87 is the correct answer. But it's, I'm challenging you guys to, I'm trying to teach you guys a few things along the way. Okay. All right. I had written down in the lesson plans that I was going to do proofs today, and I'm going to talk about for 5 minutes, but I did not prep for proofs. I did not. And so I'm going to have to go back and make a video or do this again next time. But this is a 2-column proof right here. There's column 1, column 2. And when you make a 2-column proof, you have statements in the left and you have reasons in the right. Okay. Now, let's read up here. It says the isosceles triangle. Remember we talked about isosceles triangle as 2 equal sides. The isosceles triangle theorem states that if 2 sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite to the sides are congruent. Now that's a true statement. Prove it. Okay. If it's given that AB is congruent to AC, oh, what is going on with my computer? AB is congruent to AC, prove that angle B is congruent to angle C. So it gives us a thing, and then it tells us what to prove. When you guys do 2-column proofs, which you won't do in this class, you want to start with the given. So the first line is always the given. So up here, it tells you the given, line segment AB is congruent to AC, and the reason is given. It's always given, okay? Now, oops, sorry. The bottom, the last line, it doesn't matter if there's 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 10 lines. The last line is always the prove statement. So up here, the prove statement is angle B is congruent to angle C. And so that's always last, okay? So right away, 3 of the lines, you know how to fill out 3 parts of the 2-table proof, 2-column proof, okay? From there, you need to kind of fill in the rest. Like it says, construct a bisector for angle A. So we're going to split it down the middle. And, every angle has one bisector angle, and it gives that. And then eventually it goes into like things like properties, like you can use a commutative property, additive property. You can say reflexive property. Reflexive, think about what reflexive means. It's actually like pretty easy for you to picture that. Think of reflecting in the mirror. It says AD is congruent to AD. And what it says is this AD, the bisector line, is the same for triangle BDA as it is for triangle CDA. So, when 2 triangles share a line, that line is congruent to each other when you prove, congruent sides of triangles. And then we haven't got into SAS postulates yet, but you can use, line addition, segment addition postulate, or vertical angle postulate, or anything that you've learned so far. So if and when you do get into 2-column proofs, that's where the vocabulary is really important. Complementary angles, supplementary angles, vertical angles. The reflexive property we haven't talked about, but here's my first mention of it, okay? So on the test, there's no 2-column proof. That's why we didn't spend very much time doing it. But I do want to introduce it to you so you have seen it before, hopefully, okay? All right, I think that's the big thing I want to talk about is the test. The test is posted. Last year, I posted a warm-up for the test so everybody can get on to Mastery Connect and try it, and we would be smooth sailing for the test. I did not do that this year, and I thought about doing that, but I was trying to get everything in Monday. because I knew I was off Tuesday, and then Tuesday I didn't work, and I'm like, so I apologize. I am gonna look at the test IDs as soon as I get out of Algebra 2 pretty soon, and I will tell you guys what the student IDs are. Okay. Is the test today? Yes. The lines and logic test is today. You have till Friday to turn in. So it's today through Friday. Okay. What you're doing is you're working on SketchUp PBL. So I'm going to ask about the SketchUp PBL. There's going to be a transversal assignment tomorrow. It's actually pretty short. And then Friday, you're not doing anything but working on the SketchUp PBL, and it's going to be, what's that word? Remediation day. So you're going to go back and look over everything, okay? All right, so the test, hang tight with the test. I will get you your IDs today. Promise, promise, promise. PBL check-in. How is the PBL going? Have you guys started the PBL? Can you let me know if you've started the PBL? Is the test review optional, still due tomorrow? The test review is optional. You can do the test review. You can check your scores on the test review. The test review answer key is posted in the helper documents. So if at the very least, I would just take 5 minutes to go to the helper documents and check the review key. I mean, that's the minimum I would do, okay? How is the PBL going? Has anybody started this PBL yet? Has everybody procrastinated on it? Be honest, guys, come on. Savannah, I'm looking at you. Okay, one person says they've started, one other person said they haven't started. I figured it wouldn't be 100%. You know, let's see. Deborah, what about you? Have you started yet? And Chase, have you started? Okay. I would really encourage you guys to go in there and watch the videos about how to do it and make sure that this technology is working for you. There's always been, this is my 4th year doing this PBL. There's always been one student whose computer decides it does not like SketchUp. And most of the time it's user error, but there's always one computer that's like, no, I'm not doing SketchUp today. So you don't want to wait to the last minute, because then that might be you. You guys don't have to worry about saving your work because everything is saved to the cloud. Let me tell you about college, okay? So inevitably, like, there'd be that big paper due, and you'd work on it, and then right as you're about to hit save, your computer crashes, and then you lost your work, and you just start all over. Miss Culver is saying yes. I mean, you guys don't realize what it's like to work with floppy disks. So don't wait to the last minute, because when you wait to the last minute, you're inviting Mr. Murphy to come over to your house and apply his law. And Mr. Murphy's law will get you. It'll get you so bad. Okay. All right. Any questions? Has anybody started it and they have a question on it? Or does anybody haven't started it, maybe they have a question on it? Okay. I know Haley's there, like, I have so many questions, but I'm not going to ask. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, guys. That's what I wanted to go over today. So what time is it? 8:39. My God, you guys are getting out so early. Do go in and do the warm-ups. Okay. So you're ready for your test. And do go in and look at the review. And do start I'm giving you a bit to do. I'm giving you a lot of time to do it. It's an hour and a half of math a day, and here you are in class for 40 minutes, and you're doing the warm up in class. So, that's probably already done. So, challenge yourself, be great, grow. Okay. When you get done with this math class, I want you guys to feel like you've accomplished something, instead of just saying, well, I checked off the box. Okay. All right. With that, I will say have a great day. Thank you guys so much to those that have turned on your camera. I love seeing you.